Good afternoon. Well, it's chilly again. We just can't make up our mind about the weather here in Virginia. And I know you have the same wherever you are, for better or worse. The sun is out and it's shining, and that's helpful. It makes you think you're warmer than you are. There are two big stories, I guess, that continue to catch our attention over the weekend and will for the next week probably. One is Trump, of course, and the other is about those crooked bankers. Okay, I don't know that they're crooked, but we sure have to do an investigation to find out. But let's start with Trump. The district attorney has responded to basically Trump's riotous threats, inviting people from the street, the unwashed many, to come to New York and to protect him from the charges that are going to be made as early as Tuesday, and maybe later than that, and maybe not at all. The district attorney has responded by basically saying, you better not do anything that's illegal or compromises or threatens or coerces anyone, because we're going to deal with it. And I thought this was another way of saying, hey baby, you're not in DC anymore, you're in New York, and we know how to manage a crowd. Well, there's good and bad news about that, but I do appreciate what he had to say. And you got to wonder if somebody didn't poke Garland in the hindquarters and say, well, what are you going to say? You're the Attorney General of the United States. There's a guy out there who tried to overthrow the government with a similar call to come to Washington. And now he's telling people to come to New York when he's charged by District Attorney Bragg. And he's attacking the system, and so is the Speaker. Do you have any courage at all to do your job as a chief law enforcement officer? That's really a rhetorical question, because he doesn't. It's clear. We know that. We have so many data points, it makes you ill. And, I was asked by Ari when I got to join him on Friday, what I thought about the so-called special counsel's investigation. And I'm at a loss to understand two things. One, why are we spending time down in Florida on documents when we've got corrupt electors, lawyers, Congress people, senators, all involved in a major conspiracy to overthrow our government? And part of that conspiracy is what happened in Georgia. And we have the former president on tape making out that crime. And we're worried about documents? Sure, do it later. Give it to some local prosecutor. But hey, Jack, you're supposed to be experienced. Go for the gold. Go for the big case. Go for Trump. Stop this nonsense with lawyers. Okay, I'm off my soapbox. Now, we do hear that I guess Trump and company are negotiating with the Secret Service as to how they're going to handle this. Do we trust the Secret Service? You do remember that the Secret Service, according to the January 6th committee, wasn't exactly forthcoming in producing information to the committee and remembering things. And there was a spoliation problem, meaning that they destroyed documents and records, and they had some BS story to explain it. So the Secret Service doesn't strike me as a group that can be trusted on its own. And yes, Biden, this is a call out to you and our so-called Attorney General. Secret Service is under your control. Get it straight, please. And we have no less than the Speaker of the House supporting a guy we all know is a criminal. We heard Trump's lawyer the other day say, can you imagine that Mark Pomerantz said that he would work on the investigation of Trump for free? Yes, I can, and I think that's the kind of enthusiasm we need, instead of these cowards out there who are afraid to do anything on any occasion that could get them close to prosecuting Trump. Now, having said that, it appears right now from the field of battle that the person closest to doing anything is District Attorney Bragg. So let's hope he does, and let's hope he breaks the ban that appears to exist by other prosecutors to get off their chairs and do something. America, you're shaming us. You're You're shaming us before the whole world. Get your act together and do something. Now, the second matter, which is of interest, is the Silicon Valley Bank. And that's of interest because it appears that this happened because the banks did not obey the regulations that might have avoided the crash that they have. Now, what's a good indication? One indication is there are so many people, patrons of the bank, who had deposits that would be covered by the FDIC amount of $250,000. But there was something like 90% are above that, and like way above that. And the FDIC only pays on that $250,000. Okay, so how did this happen? Well, you're supposed to have funds in reserve. But what if you take those funds and you risk them in investments? And this was a venture capital bank. And then not only do they not pan out, but the people who are your patrons come and want to withdraw funds, and the bank can't do it because it has the funds tied up in these investments. Then on top of that, they're having such a glory day. The president of the bank, he sends $3.1 million to himself just before the whole bank closes, and some compensation to people that he works with and for. So Elizabeth Warren is right. We've been let down by Powell, Federal Reserve. He, according to her, and I agree with this, that he's messed up monetary policy, but he's also messed up regulation. Why is he in that position? He was the Trump appointee. Did anybody in the world think that he would be good for America? Now, I saw a comment in which somebody was saying that Biden started emulating FDR, and now he's emulating Clinton, basically referring to Clinton's third way. You know, it's the economy, stupid. Let's, deal with the center. But this is more than that. This is doing what you and I, if we made a bad business decision, that'd be on us. These guys literally robbed the bank. And we better have an investigation. And we should have these people claw back, meaning give back the money they got that they never should have had. And there's always something going on in Florida. And there's a proposal that young ladies below the 6th grade not be taught anything about their sexuality, their body, more particularly their period. Okay, well, if they're not getting that information at home, this is a real shocker to children. And for the school to cut it out, that's just insane. I went to a grammar school, and you hear all the things said about how chary they are to let us know what's really going on. And we had what they call, I don't know if they called it sex education, but that's what it was in grammar school. And there wasn't any sniggering or anything. It was, and I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was the circumstances and how these things work. And we had mixed classes, and I don't remember how they handled it, but I don't remember any subject being excluded. So much so that when my dad sat me down to tell me the facts of life, I said, "Oh, I know all about that." Of course I didn't, but I thought I did. This is the trouble with ignorance. You don't know what you don't know. So I'm out today. It's pleasant out. We have two big problems. One is that America is bullied. America doesn't push back. And I'm hoping D.A. Bragg, a kid from New York, is going to kick this guy's ass. He's going to do it legally. He's going to do it righteously. And we're going to begin the long road back to being a republic again. Thank you.